Hello, this is a demonstration of like what you have to do for assignment number 5, which is like housing stats, just a more detailed picture of housing. Um, in this like first slide, you will need to go to Social Explorer and create a comprehensive report for the study area, which is like some census tracts that we have already identified in the um, data analysis or instructions. So there's like a number of census tracts that you will have to select, and this is how the area looks. If we go back to our PowerPoint, the idea here is to create some infographics with these like simple stats. Um, you can use several slides, so right now there's a lot of data here, but given that you will have infographics, for example, showing here in Chicago, like 44.3% of people are homeowners. So it shows like 4 out of like 10 here. This could have been also shaded. But the idea is that you would create something that looks nice. It's another example, very, very simple about housing tenure, how many people are renters and owners. So these are like the statistics you would be looking at. Some of these are a little bit some of these actually I gave to you, which is like households. So there's like 19,000. This was done with like GIS. Families, the number of affordable housing units, and this come from another assignment. But since this is hard to calculate, I just give those to you. And number of deep affordable housing units. So these are like something that we did for the community profile, which is another assignment through GIS. So that means that you have to find what's the median household income in this area, the average household size, how many housing units, renters, owners, how many vacant units, for sale, rent, other, median year structure built, median home value, and median gross rents. All these are very basic statistics for housing that you can find in the comprehensive report of Social Explorer. So we can just go to Social Explorer and explore. This will take you to a map of the United States. And of course, you will like zoom in to the map and find Salt Lake. The more you zoom in, you will see that you will give the option of actually selecting census tracts as opposed to the city as a whole. As I said before, there's some census tracts that you have to select. Go back to the instructions to pick those. But what I'm saying here is I just go to more options, create report, and instead of choosing the essential report, go to the comprehensive report. After that, you will have the point selection, and here just basically just click and it selects that census tract. Again, go back to the instructions to select the census tracts that are appropriate. This one is inappropriate. As you see, these are like the census tracts in the west side, including the airport. It's kind of like generally the area, but just make sure that this actually matches the census tracts in the instructions. And you can see here the census tracts that were selected. You can even choose more. Again, if you go to the instructions, you can make sure that this matches. No, it does. So you now will create the report. Hit the create button. And you will see that there's like census tracts, the census tracts that you selected. Each one has its own data. There's several census tracts, so you will not get the total data unless you actually go to the last portion of the table that shows like total and all selected. So that area that I chose, it has a total population of about 66,000. But what we're really looking for in this data is more like the housing statistics. The first ones were just like generic statistics. So we can look at the tables actually. Pick the next tables. This one, for example, is household income. I think that this one was like in the statistics that we were looking for. Median household income. This is where you will put how much that was. And well, of course, remember that these are by census tract, so you will actually go to the end to find the total for that area that we chose. The just in the PowerPoint, you can see that there's also some requests for the number of housing units, tenure, that means owners and renters. Also, the housing units that are vacant. Specifically looking at this table, we're looking at vacant units that are for rent, for sale only, or other vacant. There was some questions about the median year structure builds. Also home value and median gross rent. So what you need to do is just like basically here we have the median value, but there's other tables. So you will just click next, find the median gross rent, and just find what is needed to be able to complete that table. Remember that this only shows the census tract, so you will have to go to the end. You can also download the data. You can save it and then you can download it here, data download. Here I usually pick something that you can see in the Excel, which is like the census tract data like CSV. You can download it and then complete your table. So the next thing that we want to learn about is like the historical rates of homeownership by year. If you can see in this graphic, I picked from 2005 to 2016. Where right now in the most recent data is like 2018. So the 2019 and 2020 data is not available, but until 2018 instead of 2016. And you can pick older years, but that would be like a lot. So basically, if you can pick 10 years, that would be great, since 2008 to 2018. If you can pick more, that would be better because the homeownership rates really changed in 2008, as you can see. It was like higher until 2008 when they were lower, and now they're like moderately increasing for some groups. So here we have like whites, Latinos, African Americans. You don't have to worry about that. You only need to look at total population instead of looking at each racial and ethnic group. And here it shows which table we are looking for, which is like owner occupied housing units. So let's go back to Social Explorer. This is like the census tracts that we already selected. We can, in here we were looking for like owners, right? So we will have to do this for different years. I'm just trying to see how to do this. We can go to, this is just the kind of like the beginning, to change data. And here you can see different years. So for 2018, we already know, and we saw like how many people are owners or renters. But we can keep doing year by year. If you go to show all years, you can see several years. So that's how I found like the 2005 data, for example. And there's like again different things that you can look at. So I'm just gonna pick this, see if this data doesn't. So you have to look. I don't cannot see in that very small window, but we can just find here housing, home values, and check housing. So this like shows occupancy status, vacancy, tenure. We are looking just for homeowners. How many are homeowners? Oh, by somehow by accident we were looking into 1940s. Um, but here you can find, it says 2005, so it should be okay. Let's do that again. Picks 1940s. Okay, so here let's pick, let's say 2006. This one shows like total population, but again, what we're looking for really is homeowners. It's a lot of tables. It's tenure. That's what usually like tenure indicates, renters or owners. So owners. We have to select census place. Oh, no census place, but census tract. So this is not letting me like choose small geographies. It only lets me choose for Salt Lake City as a place. So I think that oh yeah, you can actually choose areas. No, you can't. So this data it's not available for the census tract. So you will have to do it for the city. Um, I think that that's fine. You can show this the home ownership in the city. So here what we have is like 2006. We can pick the topic, which was tenure. In that case, you can use also the census report. Um, pick the city, and then just create that report. And then you can find out the data year by year. So here it shows like 2006 owners and renters. Again, this wants to do it by the city. It doesn't seem that small geographies are available. Um, and I think that that's fine. Some of this data is not going to be available at the smaller level. Actually, this data also got like for Chicago as a whole. So the next one is just like uh, find the housing stock. So this is like how many are single families, duplex, and so on. Oh, let's go to Social Explorer. Here we can actually pick the comprehensive report. I'm gonna reset this. So what happens is that by year, in that year 2006, only the data that was available, it was for the city, and it's not for smaller places. But if you go to like 2018, actually like let's find 2018 5 years. Now that's available as census tract. So what happens is that if it's only 1 year, it only allows you to see the data if there's like enough people. And 5 year estimates has more people than the 1 year estimates, so it feels comfortable conglomerating the data into a census tract because of the marginal error. Um, you don't need to know any of that, but the point being is that not all the data is available by the census tract or is released by the census because they think that the marginal error is too large and there's too much ambiguity in the number offered, and therefore they don't make available those numbers. What they do is that they agglomerate it with larger geographies in order to be more accurate. So we go to like census tracts, comprehensive report, select the census tracts that we did before. I'm just going to select like some random ones, but just make sure that you have the correct ones. Create. And then it's not going to appear the first ones, but then you're going to keep going to the next. And find here the housing units in structure, which is like some are attached, some are detached, this many units, 10 to 19, 20 to 49. Here they change the names a little bit, but you can do this just to make it simpler because there's a lot of options in that other one. So that's how you get to that. Here we have like household size, and then it's like for renters only, like how many are like one persons, two persons, three persons, and so on. And in the other one, we have like occupied units by the number of rooms. So it's like how many of the units are one bedroom. So you can see the majority really are like 5 bedrooms, 6 bedrooms. This is actually for the United States. So I imagine that it would be different for the Salt Lake or West Side area. And the idea here is to get a graphic that looks similar to this. This comes from the New York report. Household size and unit type. So again, this is called household size. Okay. Here we can look if it appears in our comprehensive report. I don't think it does. So we have to go to tables. And looking here, you have housing units by household size and household size. This one is the one that we were looking for. You can uh, add that to the report that you have. And then the other one we were looking for, it was the unit type. And specifically it says occupied housing units by number of rooms. Oh, we should have looked at the number. So that would be easier. SEA1, so on. Okay. I think that we have to look one by one because I got that SP from another table here. Um, Here we're looking for housing units. Occupy housing units by number of rooms. This one it's actually, it shows a different number because there's different ways to get to the same data through here. So we have like occupy units by number of rooms. Just add that one to the 16 table that we have. Show results. Because we just added those, it will be at last. I wonder if we even added them. Oh yeah, it's just like it shows here the SE. Oh, I see. Okay, let's go like to previous. So I added it to the housing data. So you have like here occupied housing units by number of rooms, the data we were looking for. I don't think that it added the other one, so you have to probably go back and try to add that. I mean, we can look again. Oh, this one. So household size. So renter, occupied housing units, household size. That's how you find those. Okay, so in this one, what you're trying to make is a graph that shows the gap between rent and income and by the different years. So what I suspect already is that you will not be able to find this for the selected area because we saw that if you use 1 year estimates, you will not be able to go to smaller geographies and you have to only do Salt Lake City, and that is okay. The thing that is like I mean, here you're showing again what is the median gross rent and what is their income of the regular renter. And there's different tables that show that. I'm not gonna go again and trying to find this data because you already know how to get it. But basically, what you're looking is for these tables. Remember, it's like it starts with A 140, 15, and this one is a median household income by tenure. Here is showing 2018 and the median gross rent. Again, if this you cannot find, because I did this test, you look in the United States, you can look for Salt Lake City, what are the differences, and make this table for Salt Lake City. This one, for example, is for New York, but not for the specific area, which is like the west side. That is okay. The one thing that you must pay attention to is that there's inflation, and a way to deal with that is to actually use an inflator calculator that you can find in the Bureau of Labor of Statistics. And this is where you will go. I can see you a little bit later, like maybe in a little bit.
I'll go to class then.
Okay.
No. We can meet next time. Are you going tomorrow?
Yeah, I can see you in a little bit later. Yeah, just stay here.
Oh.
So what you need to do is I forgot what I was doing. Oh yeah, Bureau of Labor Statistics. Now I remember. Okay, so you're gonna find it here. So it's like Bureau of Labor of Statistics. It's like in inflator calculator. So here you will find the data that you get per year. So let's say that the income is $71,000 a year for a family. In 2018, you can select the same months, it doesn't matter. And you want to like see like how much, or actually it would be vice versa. So let's say that the income was 51,000 in 2014. You want to know how much that will be in 2018 because you're making the latest calculation in 2018. So you will calculate, and you will basically, what happens is that in 2014, that year that you got the data for Salt Lake City, of like the income that it was median income of like a renter, that is really equivalent in 2018 to 54,000. And 2018 would be the number that you use for all of these because that's the most recent data that you will get. And here we have like one more, which is like looking at the home values versus income. So one of the sheets was for renters and one for owners. Again, 2004-2016 data. This was just from an example. You can pick 2018 as the latest data, and 2004 is fine. But you can only do this for Salt Lake City and not the west side, as I said before, because the geographies would not be available. And again, here you have to actually change and adjust for inflation. So in 2016, you know, this is like the amount that the median home value. But this median home value in 2006, it was calculated by using inflation according to the year 2018. I hope that helps you to complete this assignment. Thank you so much.